Hello, today I'm working on a Acer Nitro gaming laptop. This is the AN515-43 laptop. This one was dropped and the LCD panel stopped working. The owner said that when it happened, the LCD panel turned a strange, or it looked like a broken TV, and now it's completely dead. It won't come on at all, the LCD panel. But the computer is on, and I see that we have a signal through the HDMI output, so the computer's fine. I just wanted to make sure that the computer was fine before I proceeded. In the meantime, I'm going to shut down, disconnect the battery so that I can open up the LCD panel and look to see what the connector looks like. There are several options for a new LCD panel for this computer, but I want to open it up and make sure, I want to see which part number LCD is in there today. So that's the power's off now. Disconnect my HDMI and the charger. I'm going to open up and disconnect the battery. I'm not exactly sure how this case comes apart. I can see screw holes. This screw is loose. I don't know if this screw needs to come out or not. It looks like it probably does. All of these screws are the same. So there's no optical drive in this computer that I need to worry about. It looks like this part of the bottom cover comes off, but I can see that the top case wraps around here, so I think, yeah, it's going to come out this way. Let's see if I can get a tool in there. Now, I just need to figure out, I hope there aren't screws under these rubber feet. I don't really want to take the rubber feet off unless I have to. Just being careful. I don't want to bend anything or, mar the surface in any way. So I got, this little pry tool is quite thin, so I got it in there. Let's see if I can go across if anything releases. Yeah, some clips are going now. Yep. So there are clips that are releasing. I'm going to open this a little bit. Yeah. So that's releasing the bottom cover. Again, I'm being very gentle. And I'm going to stick my pry tool along the side here and see if I can release any clips. It's very tight. Yeah. So just very gently prying up and getting this pry tool in that seam there worked well. I didn't have to pry. I just got it down the seam and I pried a tiny bit, like just separating, not trying to pry it over, but just trying to pull it out to give the clips an opportunity to release. Now what goes on in this corner, I wonder? I think I'm going to do the same on the other side so that I end up with 3 of the 4 sides released before tackling the back cover. And that just came loose quite easily. So did that, so did that. And now I got to be careful around this rectangular feature because there will be weak, weak plastic there. It'll be a weak spot in the case, and I don't want to crack it. There we go. Okay, now what? I'm not sure how this is attached in the back, but yeah, no, that's coming. The clips on this side just released. I can see across the back that those clips released and these are still holding. So I'm going to just try to get in there and coax a little bit. Yep. Yep. Brilliant. So that's off. Looks like somebody has pried this open before. Somebody pried, or this, maybe it broke off during the fall because this screw boss is broken and the metal insert came out separately. So I'll show you on the microscope what I mean. So this top bezel piece has on the bottom of it a screw boss with a metal threaded insert that broke out of it. So I'm going to need to glue that, repair that before it goes back together. But the bottom case is off. Not too dusty. There is, I can see plenty of dust in the fans, but it's definitely not the worst I've seen. Okay, dual M.2 support. So there's an M.2 drive there. There's an M.2 slot and post there. And then there is a bay for a SATA drive, a proper SATA drive, but there's no cable for it. Battery's fine. Yeah, so the hard drive connector's there, and it's blank. There's no cable for a 2.5-inch drive. Anyway, I'm going to disconnect the battery and disconnect the display. I might just take the lid off. It makes getting at the LCD panel a bit easier. Okay, first things first, disconnect the battery. Okay, there's the battery disconnected. So we should have no power in the laptop. I'm just going to press the power button. Yeah, I need to blow out those fans. So here's the LCD connector. That's disconnected, and now we've just got the two wireless antenna wires that go up to the Wi-Fi card here. So I'll pop those off of the card, and they're kind of half taped down. Fish them out of here. Yeah, so this display panel will come off quite easily. So that's what I'll do. I feel like that's the safest option. That screw wasn't particularly tight, nor was that one, nor was that one, nor was that one. Hopefully there's no broken plastic from the fall. So I need to get this hinge open. I think I'm going to use the laptop body itself to pry this open. Okay, that got a good start, and they're not particularly tight, so easy enough. And there's the computer separate from the display assembly. Now, I'm just going to set the lid back on there and this bezel, and I need a safe place to set this. Okay, this LCD panel it definitely took a hit. Can't really see exactly where it impacted the ground, but the bezel is broken. Both sides, both corners have a split in the bezel. I don't know if that's 100. Oh, it is. So there's two pieces to this bezel. There's the lid itself, and then this bezel snaps into there. So that's going to come out, and this one-piece bezel is going to come out in 3 pieces. Might look for a replacement part, just in case I can find one at a reasonable price. I just want to make sure. I wanted to make sure that it's not screwed in, and that it looks like it will come out. You know, like it'll unsnap here. I'm not sure where that's going to unsnap though. Okay, I can see there. There we go. Maybe I'll use my thin tool. Yeah, nice. Just trying to figure out how the clips let go, like which direction do I want to put the force to get to coax these clips open. I'm not sure. There's definitely a clip holding on there. Okay, so I'm kind of pulling and wiggling, and then I think there's a little double-sided tape in here by the webcam. There's something by the webcam holding it in. So if this wasn't broken, this would be nearly impossible unless I can get this side piece to release. There. Oof, okay. Now for the sides, scratch the LCD panel. I mean, I know this LCD panel is probably broken, but it's just good practice to not use metal tools on a glass LCD panel or plastic or whatever it is. I always try to use plastic tools for this. Now this comes all the way down to the hinge cover. You know, the bezel covers part of the hinge. Now what? Definitely snaps in place quite tightly. Like I need to get something in this bottom seam. So what I've done is I've gone into the little gap that you can see between the bezel and the lid, got in there and just pried down a little bit, and now that's released. So I'm almost there. Just need to figure out how to get the rest of this bottom edge to let go. So I'm just lifting up. And there we go. Bezel off. One broken bezel. So I've got some super glue work to do. Alright, this LCD panel is held in with double-sided tape. I can see, yeah, the screws up here are for the hinge, the gusset or the bracket that goes to reinforce the lid. I can see a little bit of double-sided tape sticking out the bottom of the panel. Is that under the hinge? No. Okay. Wow. Very little to work with here. Hopefully I don't ruin my chances here. I'm just twisting it around the tip of this tool, there was such a small amount to work with. So now I'm going to pull this hinge down so that I have room to work. Let me get my tool out of here. Yeah. Okay, it's coming. It's really stuck on my tool. Okay, there we got it. My tweezers. So now I like to insert a spudger in here just to give me a little bit of lift. I'm not lifting very much. I've just got it in there to give me 2 millimeters of lift. Now it broke. Oh, that's all there was. Okay. I hope that's all there was. There might be another one from the top, but I didn't see one. Oh yeah. Interesting. This is the first time I've come across this design where there's a, I don't know, a 2-inch piece of double-sided tape on the bottom corner and then another small one on the top. So let's see, can we get a hold of this? Got it. Okay. Again, I'm going to lift up on this a little bit with my spudger while I pull on this tape. Yeah, and that one's out too. Same thing. So this whole side of the LCD panel is off. Now we'll do the same thing over here. Alright, I've got it with my finger. There we go. I always get nervous doing this because if it goes wrong, it's really difficult to get these lids out if that tape breaks. I only know because the first time I encountered one of these, I was unaware of the stretch to release nature of this tape, and I just brutally forced the LCD panel out, and that was not a good experience. So can I get a hold of this? It's just such a small amount here. I'm gonna try to twist. Got it. Boy, they don't give you a whole lot to work with here. And that's free. Okay. Right. I'm just observing the way the data cable or the display cable goes through the hinge so that I remember when I go to put this back together. It comes from the panel, it's in the wire loom channel, and then it comes through here. Oh, there's going to be a webcam as well. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to take this out without derouting the whole webcam. So I think what I'll do is I'll just flip the LCD panel up. I'm worried about these hinges coming in contact with the LCD panel itself. So I'm just going to pry this up a little bit so I can get my fingers under it, and then we'll have a look at the back of it. Don't see any physical damage to this screen. Oh, no, I do. You can see that it's in the right light. You can see that it's cracked. Maybe I'm going to clean this. You'll be able to see it better. Oh yeah, you can see the cracks. I can see the cracks very clearly through here. Yeah. Okay, good. Now, I just need to identify the specific display because I want to replace it with the exact same one that's in here, the exact same model that's in here. So I'm going to deroute the wire a little bit so that I can get clear of these hinges. They're sticking up like little monsters. Okay. LP, if I just look at the part number here. LP156WFC dash SPD. Is that a 5? I can't tell. Yeah, it's 5. SPD 5. Oh, SPD 5, yes. So, let's see. SPD... yep. I'm going to put the exact same model in here. Okay. So now we wait for the new part. Actually, while we wait for the new part, I'm going to disconnect this cable. So there's no clip or latch that goes over this. It should just slide out. Yeah. Okay. Stick the wire back in the wire loom on the lid just for safekeeping while we wait for the new part. So there's the old LCD. Now, I've got some parts that need to be glued back together. We've got this metal insert that needs to go back into the little hinge cover bezel piece. Maybe I'll turn this so that I can work a little easier here. That looks like it's a pretty good fit. Okay. Yeah, very good fit. Anytime I work with super glue, I like to have a paper towel handy. Okay, now it's coming out. That's not good. That's not right. Need you to get in there a little better, buddy, without gluing my fingers to it. It's pretty close, but there's still a gap there. I don't know if I like that. That's about as tight as it's going to go. And now for the bezel. I might super glue it and then bolster it with a little bit of hot glue. Let's see. Off to the other side. Might not bolster it with hot glue. I don't think there's going to be room inside there for extra thickness from the hot glue. So I'm just going to leave that to cure while the new part comes. It's Saturday today. I've ordered the new part. It won't be here until Tuesday. So I'll set these aside on the shelf and let everything harden up. And hopefully it'll be enough. I might look into whether I can find a replacement bezel or not and give the customer that option as well. So I'll be back. All right, the new LCD panel came in. So I'm going to move this one. Let's see. And let's see. So here's the panel that is disconnected from the computer. I'm going to move the computer. And I will be very careful with this. Keeping myself grounded. I know this is an anti-static bag, so it should come out of here without a bunch of static. So let's see, it lays in like this. I need the connector. Now this one, yeah, this one doesn't have a clip. Doesn't feel great, but it looks right. So I'm going to put some Kapton tape on there. Big stuff. Oh dear, yes, I have double-sided tape to apply as well. Right, so this, let me just see. The area that they reserve for the tape is a centimeter. This tape is 1.95. Okay. I might just cut this roll in half all the way through its whole thickness. So let me lay this in here just to keep it safe. And now this I'm going to just cut through. So I'm basically, you can't really see that, you know, from, let's see, where is halfway up? It's right about here. So I'm going to go all the way, the whole depth of the tape. Not perfect, but I think this is going to work fine. So I'm going to take both sides because I need two chunks that are the right length. Okay. I'm going to unplug this. No, maybe I'll just flip it around. So the first part of this doesn't look great. I'm gonna get rid of that. And this looks great. So I'll use that. And I'm gonna put a little paper tab on each end of this tape so that when you go to remove this again, you'll see the tab and it will keep the tape from sticking. doesn't look great. Yeah, my cut idea didn't work because I'm ending up wasting a lot of this tape. I might cut that off. Get in there. So what I'm doing with this tape is just giving the next technician a chance to be able to get this tape, you know, unstuck. So I'm going to press this tape down each of the 4 pieces. And now I'm going to try to get underneath the backing. I'm going to put another piece of paper so that both of the sticky sides of the tape have a small area that is not stuck to anything except for this little paper. That's coming. There. So now there's a little paper on both sides of the sticky tape. Okay. I should test this LCD panel before I put it on. But worst case scenario is it's defective. Let me just double check this connection. So I think what I'm going to do is just lay it in place. Make sure it's got enough room. Yeah, everything looks fine. So I think it needs to mesh, to rest up against the top here. So you can see a little bit of yellow sticking out there, but the bezel's still going to fit on, so as long as it's not too thick. Yeah, so I think it's time to put it back onto the laptop, to put the lid back on. Right, so here's the laptop. Lay this in place and put the hinges down. Let's see, that wire needs to go into that loom a bit, I think, so that it lays flat in the proper channel. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Battery is disconnected, so I will plug in the display connector. Looks good. In case you didn't know, on laptop hinges, there are multiple holes where screws could go through, and you can see that 2 of these holes are marked with a little arrow or a triangle. That's where these screws go in. So when I can see the triangle, I know a screw goes in here. That other hole is for the case that penetrates through the bottom cover. So once the bottom cover's on, there will be a screw that comes through the bottom cover, through the hinge, and into the chassis. So you want to make sure you never put a screw in a hole that doesn't have a little arrow, at least not on a hinge. Sometimes motherboards are marked like that as well. This one's not, because some of these screws, there are some screw holes that come through the motherboard that you wouldn't want to put a screw there because there's a screw that needs to come through the top case or the bottom case. Just FYI. I might wait to route the... I'm going to wait until I've tested the LCD panel before I route the wireless antenna wires. And I'm not going to plug in the battery just yet. So now when I open this lid, the LCD panel is not affixed to the lid. So I'm going to need to lift it along with the lid. So very gently. These hinges are quite soft. So I'm going to open it far so that the LCD panel will stay back in its channel. Maybe I'll just lay it down. Yeah, we'll just lay it down. It'll be the safe option. Now, no battery. So I'm going to plug in the charger. Beautiful. Looks good to me. So I'm just going to shut it down. Disconnect the power. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is take the backing off the double-sided tape so that the LCD panel is mounted properly. I'm going to flip this over to do this so that I can see what I'm doing better. Now, a couple pairs of tweezers. Just taking the backing off of this double-sided tape. You can't really see, but that's okay. Having my little bits of paper on the double-sided tape makes this job easier. Oh no. Okay, so I'm going to line up the top edge with the little plastic buttress up here so that I know that it's high enough. Make sure that it's fitting in its channels left and right, and now I'm just going to lay it down. So now, beautiful. Looks straight. Looks nice and straight to me, so I'm going to press it down ever so gently onto the double-sided tape. Now, while that's happening, I might route this wireless cable. I also need to blow this computer out. It's quite dusty. I just want to make it a little more stable. So run these wires up here through the wire loom, and then they have to go under the heat pipes. There's one. And there's the other one. And I'll connect these up. Okay. Those are in place. I don't know what that captain tape is for. I'm gonna look at how this fits back here. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. So now the other missing piece is this, which had a broken screw boss that I glued back together. I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be at the right height and angle. It looks pretty close, but this is where I want to clean this thing first before I go too far, because look at these fans. So I'll be back in it. Okay. It's a bit better. It's not perfect. I'm going to reconnect the battery. Can't quite get in there with my finger. No. So this place where the wireless antenna comes up. Oh yeah, this has been pried out before. So this piece here, a couple of the clips are broken. I can see them sticking through here. So how does this cover that antenna wire? Let me clean this first. It's weird. There's a bit of wear on the end of this where the finish is worn off and that black is coming through. It's as if the bezel was hitting this hinge cover. Don't quite understand. Now, how does that wire fit in there? It just sort of lays in there? I don't get it. Kind of a strange setup, this bezel here. I don't understand. Because it's not really snapping into place. Does it go the other way around? No. Yeah. It was pried off at some point. Alright, so this has to go under the display bezel. So I think I'm going to do that first before snapping that on. One more test. Make sure it works. Yep. So we've got a nice Windows 11 display. I'm going to take the plastic protective film off. I might lay that over the old one. This bottom part of the bezel doesn't quite fit. I think the LCD panel is sticking out a little bit more than it used to. Or maybe it does fit. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. So I just need to snap in across the bottom. Carefully. Gently. Yeah. That's brilliant. Looks good. Okay, so now this last piece, the hinge cover. So that fits in like that. And it screws down here. So these wires have to tuck into here. Somehow. Okay. Now, is there a screw that goes through there? Yes, there is. Okay. Well, that little snap was either the clips going in or the glue breaking. We'll see. Okay, what does this look like? Yeah, it looks okay, actually. Does not look okay from here. So those antenna wires are in the way. The bezel looks okay. This is not quite right. So let's undo that and try again. Just need to get the wires to come out toward me so that they fall into the right channel. It's lined up back here nicely. I'm going to put that screw back in and see where we're at. It's not ideal. Those wires will go. Alright, I'm going to shut down so I can clean the front of this thing. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.